Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am Comic Hero. Coming to you from Uncharacteristic Studios. Now in this episode, I'm going to raise awareness of prostate cancer. Now prostate cancer commonly occurs with men who are around the age of 50. Now the prostate usually forms around the tissue of the prostate glands. Now the prostate is located usually under the bladder, or below the bladder rather, and in front of the rectum. And usually when a cancer forms in a prostate, it's about the size of a walnut. And a lot of times when men, when they experience that something's not right, I mean, they can experience it right away. And here's the very fortunate thing about prostate cancer. If you feel that something's not right and you go get checked out immediately, it's very treatable. I have known men who have either survived it, currently have it, or have died from it. My grandfather, he got checked real quick. I mean, he knew something wasn't right. He got checked immediately, and the prostate was good, and he was treated for it, and lived a very good full life after that. But this is a prostate cancer themed comic hero tee that I made, and you really can't see it, but inside the speech bubble there are male symbols, or not not that, but a symbol of a man that you see that by the bathroom door. Then you also have the mustache, and then right here is a ribbon with a mustache. Now this episode is for any man that lives with prostate cancer, any man that has beaten prostate cancer, and the family of any man who has died from prostate cancer. I don't mind helping people, and I'm doing it right now. All right, it's time to give away a free T-shirt. All right, last week's episode I asked, what is Daredevil's occupation when he's Matt Murdock? Well, the correct answer is a lawyer. Now, some people said attorney, some people said lawyer. It's pretty much the same thing. And 23 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is, 23 people. That's the most I've had since I started doing the show here. Taylor Yakowinko from Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Taylor. You win yourself a free comic hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Fantastic Four question. What is the Thing's battle cry for the Fantastic Four? Everyone who answers correctly will be in a drawing for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. So, I gotta ask, any questions?
Questions I walk around in, questions I didn't thrive in, questions I will survive in, questions.
Alright, I only have one question for this week, and it's from Nick Williams from Homer, Louisiana. He asked, which of the Hulks can defeat Thanos? Well, Nick, here's the thing. Now, you saw what Thanos did to the Hulk in Avengers Infinity War. That also actually happened in a miniseries which Infinity War is based off of, called the Infinity Gauntlet, that came out 25 years ago. And he sent him careening towards Earth as well. Now, I don't think he can beat him, and I don't think She-Hulk can beat him either. As a matter of fact, there was a miniseries that came out from Marvel 2 years ago called Civil War II, and in this one, it really centered around this Inhuman that could actually see the future. Well, he saw that Thanos was about to do something that could destroy the entire Marvel universe, so a whole bunch of Marvel superheroes were sent off to stop him from doing so. She-Hulk was one of them, and Thanos almost killed her. I mean, at one point, when she was being, while she was like going under the knife, or she was getting emergency treatment or emergency attention, she actually flatlined. But then they stabilized her, but then she ended up having, you know, very bad anxiety attacks. She really couldn't control being the Hulk. Being She-Hulk, I mean, she was a lot deadlier than she was before. And I don't think, so I don't think either one of them could beat him. I don't even think that Bruce Banner's son, Scar, who did have gamma radiation in his DNA until his father decided to siphon it from him. I don't think even though he was half human, half alien, I don't think he could beat him either. I mean, Thanos is a force to be reckoned with. I think the only person that really could beat Thanos is probably Captain Marvel. And, you know, Captain Marvel's half human, half Kree, or she's a human being with Kree DNA. I think she's about the only person that could actually beat Thanos, but definitely not the Hulk, nor She-Hulk. So, neither one of them. All right, that's it for any questions. If you have any questions you want to ask me, please bring them to me. Contact info is right there. You can message me on social media. I mean, this is a permanent segment. I want to keep it that way. Please, let your questions be within anything of the realm of comics. No personal questions. Or you can make them questions pertaining to the show. I will ask and answer those on air as well. All right, now DJ Black from Shreveport, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. And this one features a Fantastic Son going up against a man that could take you out with one punch. Representing Marvel, we have Franklin Richards. And representing Jump Comics, we have Saitama. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today is Franklin Richards versus Saitama. Franklin Richards possesses matter and energy manipulation, energy projection, psionic abilities such as telekinesis, telepathy, astral projection, and precognition, teleportation, immortality, and pocket universe creation. Saitama possesses immeasurable physical prowess, supernatural senses, invulnerability, and indomitable will. Who will win? Saitama understands how powerful Franklin is, so he tries to end this fight quickly. Saitama suddenly hears Franklin's voice in his head saying, "You're not going to win, Saitama. Just walk away." This angers Saitama and he charges towards Franklin to deliver the only winning blow. Unfortunately for the latter, it wasn't Franklin on the receiving end. It was an astral projection. This gives Franklin the upper hand and he telepathically leaves Saitama in a catatonic state. Franklin then says, "I told you weren't going to win, but no, you had to fight me only to get served." Pretty fantastic, huh? Franklin Richards wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed that fight. If you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright then, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, I'm going to talk about two things in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is that Marvel has released a trailer for the upcoming Captain Marvel movie. Take a look.
War is a universal language. I know a renegade soldier when I see one. Never occurred to me that one might come from above. Space invasion, big car chase. Truth be told, I was ready to hang it up till I met you today. So you're not from around here?
It's hard to explain. I keep having these memories. I see flashes. I think I had a life here. But I can't tell if it's real.
We have no idea what threats are out there. We can't do this alone. We need you.
I'm not what you think I am.
Isn't that just weird? You know, Captain Marvel crashing through a Blockbuster. Now, you're probably wondering, why Blockbuster? This movie took place 20 years ago. It took place 10 years before the first Iron Man movie. That's why you saw a Blockbuster video. But I'm pumped to see it. Can't wait till it comes out. Captain Marvel, March 8th. Alright, now the second thing. Now, earlier this year, Brian Michael Bendis wrote his last issue of the previous Spider-Man series. Now, this was the one that starred, Miles Morales. It was the Miles Morales Spider-Man. He went on to DC to write both Superman and Action Comics. Well, I'm proud to say that Miles Morales will be getting his own series again, and it's going to be called Miles Morales Spider-Man. It is going to be written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Javier Garrón. It's coming out this December, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered, because a lot of us have fallen in love over the years with the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Miles Morales is he's a half black, half Hispanic teenager who ends up getting bitten by another radioactive spider. This spider has a different kind of radiation than the one that bit Peter Parker, and he ends up having similar powers to the Peter Parker Spider-Man. Fell in love with him instantly. Still, he's also a member of the Champions, and he's also been an Avenger. He made his debut in the Ultimate line of Marvel books, I think a little over a decade ago, after the death of the Ultimate Peter Parker, and he's been killing it ever since. And I can't wait for this book to come out. But it comes out this December for Marvel. I can't wait, or can't wait, in my Bart Scott voice. All right, that's it for Comic Week Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Detective Comics number 988. Champions number 24. Catwoman number 3. The Amazing Spider-Man number 5. Exiles number 8. Fantastic Four number 2. The Flash number 54. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 309. Supergirl, number 22. Superman, number 3. Titans, number 25. Wonder Woman, number 54. X-Men Blue, number 35. Infinity Countdown, number 1. And finally, Infinity Wars, number 3. Alright, that's 13, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 8,909. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. What is the Thing's battle cry for the Fantastic Four? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Taylor Yakowinko from Monroe, Louisiana, who won a free tee in this week's episode. Now, the count is at 8,909. Now, if my math is correct, I'm 91 away from 9,000. Now, the way I buy comics, now usually I buy 10 to 12 a week. So, I'm most definitely not going to get to 9,000 this month. And more than likely, I'm probably not going to get to it next month. It's coming, though. And, I'm really, I just brought it up. I'm really not thinking about, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not harping too much on it. And again, I don't buy every book that comes out. With me, it's mainly DC and Marvel. And there are some DC and Marvel books I don't read. Some of the books I read for Marvel are Spider-Man, Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and also in the Comically Speaking segment, I talked about the new Miles Morales Spider-Man series. I will read that book. And then for DC, I read Superman, Batman, Justice League, Teen Titans, and Wonder Woman, just to name a few. There are certain books for DC I don't read. I don't read Arrow. I don't read Suicide Squad. And then for Marvel, I don't read Doctor Strange, and I don't read Hawkeye, or I don't even read The Punisher. So yeah. But on this desk, I have nothing but male characters from both DC and Marvel. And the reason for that is because of this episode of Raising Awareness of Prostate Cancer. And look, it's not worth your life to not get checked out. Please do so. I'm talking to men who are 50 and above. If you feel that something's not right down there, you need to go to the hospital immediately or set up an appointment immediately and get checked out. Because here's the fortunate thing about prostate cancer. Again, it can be treated. It can be treated. It can be easily treated. It can be treated. Go ahead and get it done. It's worth it. Alright, next week's episode, I'm going to be raising awareness of childhood cancer. I personally know some children who live with childhood cancer. I personally know some children who have died of childhood cancer. And I know some children who have beaten childhood cancer. And this is a very personal thing with me because one of my very good friends lost a daughter years ago to childhood cancer. My heart breaks for her even now because no parent should ever have to bury their child. And I'm doing this because I want to help people. I want to let them know that adversity is temporary. And if there's any man that's living with prostate cancer, you can beat this. And if there's anyone that's living with any cancer, disease, or disorder, you can beat this. You are so above this. Alright, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 230. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero!